Okay, it is 5:15 and we will get started with the regular board meeting for the month of May for the Nampa School District. And we will begin the meeting by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will welcome the guests we've got now, and we'll welcome anybody else that shows up at 6 o'clock when we do our regular session. We will move on to our mission and our vision. The mission of the Nampa School District is to ensure high levels of achievement for every student, and the vision: every student is fully engaged in extraordinary learning experiences, preparing for successful transition to the next stage of life. Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And then I will entertain a motion to move us into executive session.
I move that we go into executive session per Idaho Code 74206 1BDFI. B, to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent or public school student. D, to consider records that are exempt from disclosure as provided in Chapter 1, Title 74 Idaho Code. F, to communicate with legal counsel for the public agency to discuss the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation or controversies not yet being litigated, but imminently likely to be litigated. The mere presence of legal counsel at an executive session does not satisfy this requirement. And J, thank you, to consider labor contract matters authorized under section 74206(1)A and B Idaho Code.
Okay, motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Chair Jennings,
Aye.
Trustee Burns,
Aye.
Trustee Benz,
Aye.
Trustee Salinas,
Aye.
Trustee Taylor.
Aye.
Okay, we will move into executive session. Be back here promptly at 6 p.m. It is 6 o'clock, so we will continue on with our regular scheduled board meeting. I want to welcome all the guests that have joined us this evening, and we will start with our spotlight. Dr. Russell?
Yeah, Chair Jennings and trustees, tonight we have the privilege of having Napa High Band being honored, and I don't know if I want to start with Jared or Mr. Condi. I'm not sure. Mr. Condi, go ahead.
Yes, Chair Jennings, trustees, thank you for letting us be here. My name is Keith Condi. I'm one of the vice principals at Nampa High School. And tonight, I'm very excited that we get to highlight the Nampa High band program. And so with that, I'll welcome a couple of our students and our director, Jared Seen.
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
I'm Jared Sena, I'm the band director at Nampa. I brought a couple of our students. We're a band of about 120 strong. So we've got a percent of us. And we are very honored to do this. So thanks to whoever makes this possible for us to come up and speak. It's appreciated. And band and music, as all of us know in the performing arts, is such an important part of our students' lives. So it's important to I think, to spotlight it. So thanks again. I'd like to start. Both of these students are some of our leaders in the band. Maddie is a president. Carrington is a captain. They'll talk a little bit about what that means. And then they'll also talk about some of our accomplishments this year. So I'll start off with Maddie. So,
Hi, my name is Carrington Gage. I'm a sophomore at Nampa right now. And I'm the captain of the drum line over at Nampa. So I kind of oversee all the percussion as like a student leader. And I really enjoy it. It's really fun. I love my percussion friends and all those people. And Scene has given us a really great staff to work with there. So just really thankful for that. But I'm in charge of the drum line, which takes place during the fall trimester. And we just had a really successful marching band season, actually. It was really it was amazing to be a part of. We took top 2 at every competition, either first or second at every single one. Overall as a band, but also in percussion, and our color guard won almost, I think, at every competition, I believe. We also won best music at D3 out of 26 bands throughout the Treasure Valley. And so being a part of something like that is really special, and it's truly amazing.
Very cool.
Hi, my name is Maddie Glatz, and I am kind of like the student body president of the band. It was an elected position. All my classmates voted me to kind of represent them in a bunch of different situations. I'm a senior in high school. I have been in the Nampa School District's music program for 7 years. I have been a member of Nampa's jazz band for all 4 years of my high school. I've been through all 3, and I've been in the varsity jazz band for 2 years now. And this year we had a bunch of amazing accomplishments that we got to do. We got to perform at All-State. So there's 2 bands selected in the entire state to perform, and we were one of the bands selected, and that was a huge honor to perform there. We also went out of state for a jazz festival in Oregon, Mount Hood, and we placed first in our division and 3rd overall out of 96. Out of 96 bands, we placed 3rd overall, which was super duper cool. And for the past 2 years, we've had the honor of playing at the Nampa Schools Foundation Gala, which is always super duper fun. Jazz band is just honestly one of my favorite things that I've got to experience in high school. It's just such a fun group of kids you get to play with, and you always get to play such a broad genre of things. And band means a lot to me and my family, because my sister also did music her years in all her high school and middle school. But I just have really loved band, and it's been truly one of my favorite experiences of being in school in the past several years.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what we do in the band specifically, and what Nampa does. And I also wanted to talk about and highlight that we send our students kind of throughout the valley and throughout the state into honor groups, honor ensembles, and state solo ensemble. And within D3, which is the Treasure Valley. And so I wanted to talk about first All-State, which Maddie mentioned. Our jazz band performed at All-State for the Teachers Conference side of things. And the other side of things is there's about 1,000 students from the state of Idaho who are selected after an audition process to perform at All-State. And we had, from Nampa High, 12 in our band program that performed at All-State in either the band or the orchestra or the jazz band, which was just awesome to have that many students represented at All-State. We also perform at the BSU Honor Honor Marching Band, we had 4 students there this fall. And we also at BSU, the All-Stars Honor Band, we had 9 students, including Maddie Carrington. You also, both of these students performed the BSU All-Stars Honor Band. That's in January. Last year, we started submitting students to the Western International Band Clinic, which happens every November in Seattle. And we had 13 students representing. We're the only school in Idaho that participates in this international clinic in Seattle, which it takes students from all over the world, which is just awesome that our students get to represent Idaho and get to meet other students from literally all over the world, which is just super, super fun. We also locally have the Canyon County Honor Band, which we send anywhere from 15 to 20 students to every year. So they get to meet students from just every school locally too. So they're very well rounded that way. In terms of individual musicianship, we also send students to D3 Solo Ensemble, which happens every year at BSU. And then students from that are selected to perform at State Solo Ensemble, which kind of rotates from Northern Idaho here and Eastern Idaho. This year we had 13 students at districts. 4 students were selected to perform at state, one of whom earned 2nd place, another earned 4th place, and then one of our ensembles earned 5th place out of the entire state. So those are some of the things that the Nampa Band is doing year after year. It's just getting better and better with the amazing students that we have here at Nampa, and I'm extremely grateful for what we're able to do, what the district allows us to do, for the budgets that we get every year, which of course helps. I hear from other districts that maybe don't have quite the budget that we have. So we are very thankful for all the opportunities we get. And thanks so much for letting us speak in front of you.
Yeah, wonderful.
I do just want to offer one other highlight that we have, and I'm going to invite one other member of our band, a very important member as well, to share that highlight with us.
My name is Tracy Glatz. I am the outgoing president for the Nampa High Band Boosters. Both of my daughters have had Jared as a band instructor, first at Lone Star and now my daughter Maddie here at the high school level. Saturday morning, as we were preparing for Parade America, I was informed that Jared received the Idaho Music Education, Idaho Music Educators Association District 3 Music Educator of the Year Award.
Wow.
And he's too humble to talk about it himself. So the criteria for this award: you must have taught 7 or more years in your career, nominated by a fellow colleague, not necessarily at this district, so a fellow music teacher in the District 3. They have to have outstanding teaching, mentorship, and or service and contributions to the Idaho Music Educators Association, District 3. A committee comes to watch him teach a class, and then that committee selects the winner, and this year it was Jared. The comments were, Mr. Seen's performing groups have started to consistently do well at festivals. The program has restored to the numbers from the pre-COVID days. He had a group play at the IMEA this year, which was the Jazz One performance previously mentioned. He has hosted All-State Jazz Band, All-State Band a couple of times. Nampa has had a couple of great years, and all of that in the last 3 years is because of Jared Seen. Thank you.
Oh,
Very cool.
Chair Jennings,
Yes.
we're going to take about a 5-minute recess just to get everything working so our live stream works throughout the meeting.
Okay, that is perfectly fine. Can we ask some questions in the meantime, or should we pause?
we should wait so it can be. Sorry, can we have you guys just wait for just a few minutes?
Okay.
If you want to, I think it'll be fine because you guys won't be taking action on them.
Okay.
But it would be best if we waited for the live stream.
Are you
How
guys-
long,
are you
Tyler?
guys okay to?
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Give us just a second and we'll tell you how long.
We're ready.
We're good here. So it's there. So I'm gonna go back there, but you guys can keep going. It's going here. Okay, you guys are good. Okay, perfect. Sorry for the interruption there. Okay, so trustees, I will open this up for questions. Let's see. Back here. No, we're good, Courtney.
Yes. What percussion instrument and what instrument do you play?
I play saxophone.
Saxophone? Okay. Is it just drums or do you do other, or what do you do?
Just like all the percussion things in general. So I play all the mallet instruments like marimba, xylophone, but I play like snare and symphony. So it's just like an overarching thing. And I also play a drum set in our jazz band.
Very nice, very nice.
Okay, what's a snare?
It's
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Okay. It's a drum about like
Mhm.
this tall, this wide. It just has like these fancy metal wires on the bottom. That
Okay.
give it a nice tight sound.
Okay.
It's like if you imagine Little Drummer Boy, that's the one that.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
Yeah, this is the best part of this job is really like getting to see what you guys do. It makes me emotional just because I'm, my grandpa, my mom, and all my children graduated from Nampa High. So I'm a big Nampa High fan.
Yeah.
But that being
We're-
said, it's incredible. And I think it's such an incredible time in your life. And I think you're going to look back and be so proud about what you did with this time. And I just know 10 years from now, these are going to be experiences that you didn't know would propel you so far in life. And it is amazing to see the talent that you two have. And it's an honor that you teach here. And we love you too, Keith. Everybody loves Mr. Condi. You can't not love Mr. Condi. But yes, so I just feel so inspired. And truly, this is just truly like the best moments of this is getting to hear your guys' stories and watch what you do. And just the talent in Nampa is incredible. But I'm a little biased.
Mr. Singh, you have a wife that teaches choir, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So not to take away from Nampa, but one of my daughter's favorite mentors and teachers. And so you can tell our district is so blessed to have both of them teaching in the music department because they are both outstanding music educators, which are not easy to come by. So we appreciate both of you in our district.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. Yeah, she's amazing. She's definitely my better half.
This is live. Great answer. Play it back for just that.
Yeah.
It's remarkable what you guys have achieved. And obviously we'll continue to achieve with you at the helm here. So thanks for coming and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. You guys can take the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
Send them my way.
And thank you for your patience.
Hey, too cool. Too cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, we will move into our comment section. Clerk Lamont, I don't believe we would have any public comments since,
I will still look. I was gonna go through your comments.
okay. Yep. I'm going to take a wild guess here though, but so we will start with our trustee comments and I'll start on this end.
Okay, well, I just want to remind everyone about the impending end to the school year. So just be patient with everyone at the schools, from the principals, office staff, teachers. They're all a little stressed right now. So thank you very much for giving everyone an extra dose of grace.
Can appreciate that.
Yep. Well, 'tis the season, graduation season. You know, we had 3 or 4 last week and we're headed into 4 this week and 1 next week. So it's exciting to see these kids and what they've accomplished, and it's fun to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate all of our graduates. And then, of course, I want to thank all of our teachers and our administrative staff and just everybody who makes our school year possible, down to our lunch ladies. I know that everybody gets really excited for the last day of school, and I can see why. It's like a big XL, right? I just think that year over year, we've continued to build and really come back from 2020. And I think that this year was a really great year and we saw a lot of growth. We've been able to finish a lot of projects, passing our levy, which is so healthy for our schools. I'm really proud of us this year and just really proud of our organization as a whole.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
I'll echo what Trustee Barron said, being able to attend several graduations, the CTE cord ceremony, amazing. It doesn't matter what school these students are graduating from, it is an accomplishment. And it was really great for me to go and see the different programs that we offer and be part of that. So love doing that, looking forward to this week. And then I'll just preface that I will be leaving a little bit early tonight. Columbia High School is recognizing and putting on a gala for parents of athletes and students in different activities, thanking them for volunteering. And they do that every year. The dinner's provided by our culinary students in the district. And so they've asked me to come speak for a few minutes. So I will be exiting at the end of our meeting a little early, but looking forward to being part of their event tonight. So
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll second what these two ladies said. I had an opportunity to go with them to a couple of different graduations. The one that stands out to me, I enjoyed watching the kids at the Nampa Prep do their performances. That was
so great.
a hoot. They did a remarkable job, and to the staff over there, they're doing amazing things with these kids. So also they had to have our CTE was booming so much they had to have two separate ceremonies, which was remarkable. So it's good to see that portion of our school and work and the fruits of the labor showing up with the number of kids that were receiving certificates and cords and such. So yes, and as Trustee Selena said, she'll be exiting sometime around 7:15, 7:30. So we will just we'll accept that and enjoy your time over at Columbia. Clerk Lamont, was my assumption correct? Okay, all right. Well, we will be moving on then to the consent agenda, and I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a timeout from the corner.
We need to reboot, otherwise the audio is coming clear through the stream, but not the video.
Okay.
In order for the video to come up, we need to reboot the system.
Is that a 5-minute reset?
Oopsie.
Okay,
Okay.
we do have a motion on the table with a second. We will pause for a 5-minute reset on the audio.
Should we do the
I
motion?
would the
Finish it?
motion.
Because the audio is working.
We do stream as a courtesy,
Okay,
so we're okay, so I would finish that and then.
okay. Is there
Second.
any discussion on this motion? Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we will move, do you want to take a 5-minute break? Yes, we will then.
Get you to 500.
Get back after it then. We apologize for the technical glitches here. I would not be able to fix them, so we're thankful for the team that we have. So moving on, we are moving on to our action items. And, Dr. Russell?
First action items, evaluation superintendent.
Yep. So during our executive session, we did a superintendent's evaluation, as you guys saw. So I will entertain a motion.
I move to accept the completion of the superintendent evaluation.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to item B, Dr. Russell.
Yeah, Chair Jennings, trustees, before you tonight are the handbooks that we have for each of our schools. You'll see there are quite a few of them. The handbooks are broken up into elementary and secondary, and there are district portion of the handbooks, and there are school-specific portion of the handbooks, and those are all in your board packet. You'll also see there is a document in there that summarizes the changes. We try to summarize each of the changes for you that you could see and bring forth. There is one change that we caught last minute. Something did not upload correctly in the high school district common document. I think it's on the third page if you click in there, and it has to do with cell phones. This is one of the things that I asked for better clarity. We had some language in cell phone usage in our electronics. When I went to look for it one day, I couldn't really find it really easily. So I thought, this is ridiculous. We should just label something called cell phones, since we know that that's a very common thing students have. And we also know that there's more and more research about how that's distractive to learning. So we just wanted to have some language that clarified that and made it more specific that while cell phones are good for communication, they can be a distraction to learning, and therefore they're not allowed in the classrooms. They can use it before or after school. And so that's why that language is there. I think Tyler's bringing it up, although it looks, I don't know if you can push. There you go, Tyler. Thank you. You can kind of see that language is there. So happy to answer any questions you may have. I have Mr. LeBou and Mr. Knopp are kind enough to be here this evening as well. If there's any questions around any of those specifics for elementary or secondary, I just want to make you aware of those.
Just for clarification, we're missing a portion of this, so we'll have to amend that.
Well, in the
Tyler
board
has
doc, it is.
Yeah, it showed it short. I see.
There it is. That's the last sentence we're missing right there. Students are not permitted to use cell phones during class. Students may use a personal device before school, during lunch, or after school.
Got it.
As you see in the board packet,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah,
a
it is.
fragment and it
Correct.
stops. We don't know why that didn't load. But
Okay.
it makes no sense in the board packet if you read it, and that's the key part of the sentence. Okay.
So to clear, I'm so sorry, excuse me, Chair Jennings.
Got it right.
Okay, perfect. Yes. To clarify, I know it took a sec, Jeff. To clarify, it's not allowed during passing periods for our secondary.
Right.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And so my question is, and not because it's become a problem here, but because I've heard it at another school, are we having problems with passing periods? Just out of curiosity with this one thing.
Yeah, Chair Jennings, Trustee Taylor, to my knowledge, we are not. And just being in the schools, we do not see cell phone usage
Great.
in the classroom during passing periods.
Perfect.
I can look to Mr. LeBou to see.
Nope, don't want to create problems we don't have. Just wanted to ask.
No. Yeah, so we have thousands of high school students.
It's really hard to say that happens to be passing periods.
Sure.
Other than that,
Makes sense. Very long time. And what would you do? Yep.
It has
I
not
just
come to my
wanna-
desk. I would
Yep,
say.
and I just don't want to unintentionally write something, right? Like if a student's checking their phone on a bus in a passing period, obviously we get it. That's a long transportation time. I just didn't want to have some rule that it was like in complete conflict with like
Yeah.
sensible living.
Trustees, what we do see is we don't see them in the classroom.
Yeah, that's great.
We've gotten a lot better, and kudos to our high school administration and teachers for working with our high school students and making sure those are put away so that class time is for learning.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, very good. Okay, I will entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the recommended changes to the handbooks for the 26-27 school year.
Second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to item C.
Yeah,
Russell.
Chair Jennings, trustees, next item has to do with our secondary seat time waiver. It is about this time each year that we come forward based on our schedules and the amount of minutes that are required for credits within the state. We have to usually ask for a seat time waiver to Superintendent Critchfield. And so the document you'll see in your board packet outlines that based on our trimester and how many minutes we have per period. There is a little discrepancy in the minutes based on trimester 2 and 3, I believe. And so if you do, I think it says there, when we look at our main core areas, math, science, social studies, and English, we need to meet 60 hours, and we meet that in the first and second trimester, but it's really that third trimester because we're a little unbalanced that we get to 56.8, and that's the waiver that we're asking for.
Okay, so it's a waiver for a single trimester.
It is.
Okay.
In the core subjects, yeah, yeah, our electives, it depends on the elective. Some meet that or some are less, but for our core subjects that we're asking in that third trimester, 56 hours, we're short.
Trustees, any questions?
And but this is for everyone, not just seniors?
For everyone.
Okay.
Okay, if we don't have any questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the administration seeking a seat time waiver from the state for the 26 to 27 school year.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We will move on to line item D.
Yeah, line item D, Trustee Jennings and Chair Jennings, trustees, we have several requests for nutrition service bids coming up, and Director or Superintendent Stauffer will help kind of share some information on each of those, and he'll cover the next several ones. Quite a few of those coming up tonight.
Not the out-of-state trips?
I don't have out-of-state trips.
I don't either.
It's in
yeah,
consent.
that's in
You
the
just have to move
consent
to
agenda.
the action items.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Like,
Thank
I've
you.
never seen it
I'm like,
somewhere. Yeah.
With as much technology fast news as we've had, though, I'm like, I don't know.
Thank you.
I love everybody's like, I don't have that. I'm not sure.
We're just kind of winging it tonight. Okay, Mr. Stauffer, set us straight here.
Oh, Chair Jennings, I will do my best, but I'm going to be up here for just a little bit. Before you have a few items related to our food nutrition department. As it's now time as we're preparing for our next year, we have a lot of bids that are in front of you. These are something that happen every year when we renew certain components of our food nutrition department. So again, you have 6 different ones before you. So there are 6 different action items. They're all similar in content as far as that they identify certain products or food materials that are requesting for the board to approve for this upcoming school year and for the following, I think, 3 to 5 years based off of each one of the board memos. So basically, I'm here just to answer any of those questions, entertain if there's any questions that the board has about each of the memos. I know they're going to be one by one, but this first one we are actually looking at for the supplemental food bid for Nicholas and Company, Gold Star Foods, Cisco, and Shamrock Foods. And in the board packet, it delineates out all the articles that are in there. So these are the ones who won and participated in the bid, a bidding cycle that we had open for these resources.
And real quickly on the bid, is it just an overall, let's see, how do I say that? Like, do they bid on the annual basis, or do they bid on like per, like the item? Like, is it that condensed?
Yeah, Trustee Jennings, it is condensed. Some of the items are bid individually. So that's why we have multiple vendors who have won certain components that we have placed on the bid. So it is a very comprehensive bidding package that we put together for these products. Some are not as ingrained. Like, for example, you'll have one later that's for pizza. And so that one's a little bit different because it's just for that item,
Okay.
but it's separate. But each one of these, you'll see that there's lots of different items that are listed and the vendor who won that particular item.
Okay, very good.
And I have a question about the very first one, the cinnamon crackers, I guess. And so the note says that omega-3 been an unapproved item. It was, and it looks like it's their own brand of whatever it happened to be, the granola bars. Was it equivalent to the others, or how, what's the, how did that happen?
Chair Jennings and Trustee Benz, it's not something that it's something that happens relatively frequently at these bids, that you'll have vendors that will try to put something in that does not meet the USDA regulations for the school foods. And so that you'll see that in quite a few of the bids, that they submit an inappropriate item, or an item does not match what the qualifications are required to have.
Okay.
So in that case, while they may have a granola bar in this case, and it may have the appearances of being a very healthy item, it does not meet the requirements that the USDA has for school lunches.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just random question. Do we see our legislation changing those food requirements anytime in the near future? I know other states have done it. I haven't heard of it coming down the pipes. I just wondered if there was anything like that on its way.
Chair Jennings and Trustee Taylor, that's a great question. That's one that we've been asking internally as well. So currently, there is some whisperings of it, but the challenge is it's such a slow moving machine for the USDA for those things to truly catch up. We have seen some modifications, which this bid is taken into consideration. But as far as the major components are still there, and we're still having to adhere to them. Now, in the event that we do see some larger ones coming down, and again, we're not sure when and where they will. There's two different things. You have some state guidelines, but you also have the USDA guidelines when the federal funding comes into play. So if you do not take the federal funding, then we have different rules that we can play by. But by virtue of the federal funds that we use and are supported at the state level for the USDA, we have to be compliant with both state and federal. So once the state decides that they are going to go away from that, and they're going to, or what their funding structure may be, or if the board decides that we no longer want to receive the federal funds, which I'm not encouraging right now.
We're not, yeah. Your board doesn't
yes,
want
I'm
to
not
do that
encouraging
right
that.
now.
But
Nope,
if the
I just
board
wondered if there is,
decided
I'm
that-
not encouraging we don't accept any funds.
Not at this point in time, but if there was some conversation that indeed that we'd stop utilizing the federal funds, then we could do really whatever we wanted.
So it's on your radar.
It is definitely on our radar.
And then I just have a comment, just so you know, when I opened this up, just randomly to review it, I was reading it in decimals of like 255,000, just right, but just like randomly, totally reading it wrong. But I read it at cocoa powder, and in my mind, I was like, what could we possibly do with so much cocoa powder? And then I was like, this is not right. And then I realized it was like $255. I just wanted to throw that out there because it was like milestone moment for me that I literally thought that the school district could spend $255,000 on cocoa powder. But I just wanted to throw that out there so you knew. But don't worry, I reread it so that I didn't have to ask you why we were spending $255,000 on cocoa powder.
We will not do that. Now, what is very interesting, trustees, as you look at this, we do feed a considerable amount of students on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
And so it does take quite a bit of food
Yes.
for us to navigate preparing 2 meals per day for our students. And we're happy to do that. We've improved our meals selection. We are consistently monitoring what our student feedback is on our foods. From right now, we have 6th through 12th. We're monitoring daily as far as what their thoughts are on our food selection. We call it the Happy or Not system. We're seeing that over the last 2 years, our students are more excited about our menus than they have been before, and we have more participants than we've had in the last few years as well.
I'm even excited about your menus.
Yeah, our menu's getting better.
Your menu's getting a lot
We
better.
would love to, we're mixing more. And so one of the items with this too, as you go through this, is that we have particular items so that we can do some things from scratch. So we're not buying all prepackaged. There is prepackaged in here, but you'll see there's other items in there, and that's our purpose in the nutrition department, is to have a good combination. but yet stay within inside our budget, because that is a significant component that we do have to do as well. Which is what you're seeing here. I may add just a little bit of context with this. We are seeing increases. That's one of the things we are seeing across the board. And there's some significant increases across the board. We're seeing anywhere from 5 to 12% increases on food. Some specific products that will be coming up and the board will be looking at as well. There's up to 78% increases on some of our specialty products. So again, we're preparing them for you with the best prices that we can find, but overall we are seeing increases, and we do have to wait to July to find out what our reimbursement level will be. And then there is a possibility we might have to have a conversation in the future about what our current prices are.
Okay. Very thorough. If there's no other questions, I'll happily make a motion.
Okay.
Before I make this motion, I do just want to thank our nutrition services. They just work so hard, and they're some of my just favorite people in the community, current and retired. So thank you. I'm still friends with my old lunch lady today. Sometimes you just don't realize how impactful they are, but you see them every day, just like a teacher. So I just want to shout out to that entire team. They get up really early and they make whatever they have work. So I move that the board approve the supplemental food bid to Nicholas & Co., Gold Star Foods, Cisco, and Shamrock Foods.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we will move on to E, which is the supplemental paper and cleaning items.
Again, Trustee Jennings, I'm here just to answer questions pertaining to this bid. Again, most of the things I said earlier are just repeated here at this point in time.
Trustees, is there anything that you saw when you're scrolling through these that stands out if you might have a question for Mr. Stauffer?
$255,000 worth of cocoa.
Correct.
Right. No, nothing.
Okay, well then we can do, I guess, rapid fire motions if that's what's best.
I'm good. I move to approve our supplemental paper and cleaning bid to Shamrock Foods, Eco Lab, Nicholas & Co., Interboro, and Brady Industries.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We will move on to, looks like fresh delivered bread.
I move to approve the fresh delivered bread bid to Franz Family Bakery.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And now we'll move on to a rational oven maintenance.
I move to approve our rational oven maintenance RFP to Coolsey's Commercial and Industrial Solutions, LLC.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And we will move on to pest control.
I move to approve our pest control. I know, I was taking a breath to say it all. Let me say it. To approve our pest control RFP to Gravity Pest Control.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Last but certainly not least, fresh delivered pizza.
I move to approve our fresh delivered pizza bid to Pizza Hut Flynn Group DBA.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
I was here the first year that they brought in pizza from Pizza Hut.
Remember
Just
those
throwing
days?
out that fun
I was
fact.
surprised.
I missed the reader incentives.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bookathons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're back.
And now it's back, yeah.
I love it. Very good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stauffer. We will move on to,
He's still there.
he's not leaving.
Nope.
Okay, we're going to move on to
Still
item J.
Yeah, Chair Jennings, trustees, Mr. Stauffer is here to share some information around policy 1530. This has to do with our public records. We have discussed this in prior meetings, and I think there were a few adjustments that the trustees have asked for us, and Mr. Stauffer will share those with us tonight.
Chair Jennings and Board of Trustees, based off of our last meeting and the recommendations of the board, we updated this policy with those recommendations. There's a few grammatical components that we adjusted. One was being the name of the public records coordinator. We updated that to be the right name. And then we also added the cost for the copies per sheet after the first 100. And we just made those adjustments. And so we have it in front of you for a second and potentially final read if the board so chooses.
A question.
Yes.
Does that mean that every time that position changes, that we would need to update the policy with the name of the new person in that position?
Chair Jennings and Trustee Benz, what we did is we made it the title, not the
Oh,
name of the person.
perfect. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustees, any other questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Go ahead.
I move that we approve policy number 1530 as submitted.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move
Can I make
on.
a personal comment before Mr. Schaffer leaves?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we need to congratulate him for being a brand new first-time grandpa.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yes.
Awesome.
Excited. Yes. I have a baby girl, a granddaughter, and she's doing fantastic. So is mom. And my son, he's doing okay.
All right, there you are.
Congratulations.
Yes, yes. Happy for the family. Okay, we will move on to line item K. Dr. Russell?
Yeah, Chair Jennings, trustees, the last action item, item K, has to do with policy 2700. This is our graduation requirements policy, and what you'll see in the board packet, it just is the aligning to the decision that was already made prior. We just wanted to bring this back so that the policy does align to the amount of credits, and you'll see the red line items and all that. So it's just a matter of making sure our policy matches the decision that was made earlier.
Correct. Okay. With that said, I will entertain a motion unless we have questions.
I have one. Under the actual board policy, the draft, under the board policy manual draft. If you go down to mathematics, it says 9 credits. It needs to be 8. Not in the board memo, in the actual policy.
Go to where?
Oh, down the very, in the bottom.
Yeah.
The last one, the board policy manual, not
that
there.
one.
That one is
Not the-
correct. So if you go back to the. So
Chair
the
Jennings.
the actual, yep,
Yes.
right
Yeah, the
there,
last
right,
one.
yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
If I may just explain, one of the things where you have 2 copies in there is one, we're working with Simbly, just the way that it works.
Mhm.
The draft one allows us to integrate it in, so we'll make those adjustments. But the draft that you have per Mr. Yarborough, that one is the right one. The second one is we were working it in. It's just more of a technical process, so we will
Okay.
make those
I
adjustments.
figured it was, so I just wanted to make sure. I knew the red line one was the correct one.
It is the correct one.
So I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you very
it
much.
Didn't get.
And we
put
just
the
wanted to
policy
explain
the other
briefly
way.
why you had
Yep.
2 and why you were
Okay.
bouncing.
Yep.
One, it's one is a Simbly component, and we're learning how to use the system and how to move those policies forward.
Sure.
And it just helps us with that. So we will make those adjustments on that one. That one is the draft. The one that you have with the red lines, that is the PDF, is the one that is being proposed.
Says final.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chair Jennings, trustees, Mr. Stafford, just for clarification on that, if you would, a moment. As soon as they vote on the item that's redlined and they approve it, then the administration will go through and update through Assembly. Then that draft will now reflect the motion or the document that is redlined, and all that would be updated. Is that accurate?
Chair Jennings and Dr. Russell, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Right. Because what you're saying is you have to link it directly from where it lives. Yeah, got it.
Yep, yep.
Yep.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve policy 2700 as submitted.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, at this point, we're going to move on to our information items, and I am just going to turn the time over to
Yeah.
Dr. Russell.
Chair Jennings, next on our information item is Mr. Dewey.
There you
Here
go.
he comes.
I feel like you need some walk-up music.
My favorite is how like he's not in here, but he just appears. Yeah. He hears his name somehow like a whisper. It's like,
Yeah, well, no, I'm watching on the YouTube and it's delayed. So I was like,
Oh.
and I didn't expect you guys to get through the other one as quick. I was like, oh, you guys went really quick this time. So
We're
I
efficient.
can tell you really want to get out of here, which is great. I'll go really quick as well. So, all right, Tyler, if you'll go to the next page here. All right, so I'm going to keep it nice, short, and sweet. We're not done yet, so I just want to kind of give you the heads up of what we're really doing.
Chair
Yes.
Jennings, sorry, Mr. Dewey. The first one just is a budget update where we are with.
Yep.
the item of that.
Yep.
So
So it's
you doing the
budget
budget
update. on
update or
this
you
one.
doing the financial?
Budget update first, and then we'll go to the finance. That's the order of the board report. So I was just going to go in order. So
And that's the correct one in the packet.
yeah, I'm going in order of the board.
Okay.
Yeah, which is fine. It's kind of backwards, but it's okay. All right, so we're still looking at about 176 kid decline, maybe 180, depending on what depending how you look at it. So which relates to about 8 units. What we're looking for. So what we're also seeing is there is going to be an increase for the career ladder movement. So that's the one thing this state did do. They're paying it out of one-time money, which is going to be a fun one to deal with next year, but we'll deal with that next year. They will. They did give us a little bit extra in health insurance, but we also had a very large increase in health insurance costs as well. And remember, they're not one-to-one. It's not based on employee. It's based on units. So that's kind of the difference. The beauty is on that, we got more money because we're at the state plan as opposed to the other one where if we were just on our own. The other nice thing is we did get a pretty large increase, but I have heard of other districts around the state that aren't on the state plan, and they've gotten almost a 25 to 30% increase depending on where they're at. So it's really tough for a lot of districts, and we kind of lucky on that one. So we don't see any other really big changes to any other buckets of money, which were nice. We thought during this legislative session that they would start making some cuts on these areas in order to reduce some costs, but we did not see that at this time, so we're good there. And any other ones, we're actually looking at about the same. And remember, the supplemental levy did increase this year. This would be the first year of the levy increase. The one part I want to talk to you guys about that, remember that we're also getting money at the beginning of the year from the state. Last year, we got a little over 11 million that pays this down. Everybody that I've talked to said the calculators that go into that number that we get for that 11 million, which is one main driver is sales tax. And that is one area the state is up on. So we truly believe that we're actually going to get more than 11 million. I won't find that out until probably September, right before, probably August or so, right before we actually have to do our certification. So I anticipate, even let's say it's 12 million, that's actually, we still have one of the lowest levy rates in the state.
Awesome.
So even at that high rate, it sounds, very huge, but reality is because we have no debt. It's really actually really good for our district at this time. So if you want to go to the next page. So really what we're working on right now is the largest increase we have right now is in teacher salaries, because remember we did the additional money on the career ladder to be able to get to the career, and the supplemental levy to get to the career ladder. And there's an increase from the state already as well for the movement on the career ladder. So it looks very large, but it was planned. That's what we're doing for them right now. Some teachers are going to get significant increases. Some teachers going to get barely, but that's kind of the movement of where everything's going. And once we get through this year, everything will just kind of flow. It's going to be really, really good. So, and obviously it's nature of the union negotiations and what those ratified. So those aren't done yet. So at this point in time, I'm just kind of going with what's known on the table. If that changes, then I obviously have to come back to you guys and change that as well. We are looking at a reduction of 14 teachers due to the decline of students. So obviously you need less students and less teachers if you have less students. The bad part is it's not even across the board. It's 2 here, 3 there. So it makes it really hard for our schools right now, because it's not like I can just go to one school and say, hey, you're going to lose 14, So that's kind of how it works right now. And a lot of them, what we're finding right now is our elementaries are small. We have one more year after next year where we have a decent sized 5th grade. And then after that, everything below that is about 850 every single year. Our kindergartens are coming in at 850. When I first started here, we were 15,000 kids. Our kindergartners are about 1,100 to 1,200. So that is just how much lower we're getting. And that's not necessarily from vouchers or charters or whatever. It's just literally our community. It's actually a nationwide thing that's happening right now. They're looking across the nation of why aren't there kids? I think Texas said they lost 75,000 in their public schools. So they're looking at a big study of what's happening. And so we were hoping that this next year the COVID babies would come, and we're not seeing those yet. So maybe we have one more year to get those in. So let's cross our fingers that they'll be here. So the other thing we're trying to do is we're trying to find some operational savings as much as we can. Remember that at the beginning of the year, we actually weren't balanced by the $2.3 million. And so that's a discussion we're going to have with the other stuff. But we're trying not to do the same thing this year, because obviously we keep doing that. We're not going to have any fund balance left, and then I'll have to go into payday loans on our staffing again, which we don't want. And so we're at risk, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. We are reducing. We have 3 classified positions that we're reducing in here at the district office, because we are trying to reduce for operational. And we are removing some additional expenses to other funds that have money, getting them off the general fund in order to reduce. Salary is our biggest expense in the general and for the district. But unfortunately, operations also has a lot of different expenses similar to our, our one big one is our software, which is a huge one. And then our two big contracts with transportation and our ABM contract as well. So neither one of them, even if we had it in-house, we would have seen same increases both ways. So it's really one of those that we're just trying to figure out where we're at. And we are really looking at, okay, what are our non-essentials? We're trying to dig through that to kind of get that, trying to get that down. Right now, we're still looking at about another mill and a half to try to get it to balance. I'm not 100% worried about balancing. It makes me hurt inside that we're not balanced yet. But I think this is kind of how it's going to be for a little while until the state actually does what they need to do on that side to help us operationally. The fact that we haven't had an increase in operational funding for 4 years now is tough. And especially with us that we're actually losing kids every year, it actually even makes it worse for us. It's not like anybody's going to say, hey, you're going to charge less because you have less kids. Power School doesn't care. They just still give us our 7-8% increase. Yeah, and that's actually with us reducing, because they do actually do theirs based on a per kid allocation, but that's how much more all these softwares are going. Today, I think we got one. They want a 24% increase on one of our softwares. We're like, really? I mean, really? So that's kind of how it is. But we're dealing with it, and we'll come back to you with a good budget, what we feel comfortable with here shortly. That has to be due to the paper by the 1st, and then we'll have our budget hearing at the board meeting next month. So, okay, keep going. The next one. So I one more. Just remind you what's on the supplemental levy. All these kind of things. I'm not going to read it out because you guys can see it on our webpage as well. I just kind of want to remind you of the good things that we're doing with the supplemental levy as well. Just future. These are kind of the things I want to say is I am projecting it if we can't balance it again next year. At the end of next year, we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do, because we have a policy of 5% of our fund balance must be available of revenues. And I think we're really at risk of being around below that. If we get too much lower than that, we end up with a cash flow problem. We end up with, just other problems we have to deal with. So that's really where we're at. And if legislators don't do operational increases again, then we really, really, really have to start looking down and start really getting, because we won't be able to sustain continuing not having a balanced budget going into the year. It makes it really difficult for us. So I think that's all I have. Any questions on priorities or anything kind of real quick for next year's budget?
No, I just do want to say that I want everybody to remember that it's not magic by which you balance this, it's math. And so sometimes when you talk, it does sound a little gloomy.
Right now, I want it to be a little gloomy because things aren't great, and sorry, and I don't think it's anything we've done.
No, but I think you do a good job of expressing that. And I also think, like, for example, we're not on state insurance by accident. Mm-hmm. They were really great recommendations, and the administration worked with the board to do that. So while I don't want to pretend that the financial situation isn't great, I also don't want anybody to think that our administrative team isn't looking years ahead, and you guys always have. Yep. We've been in financial crisis really post 2020 in some form or another. This is the worst it's gotten per se, but we're watching it. We know that cuts would have to be made, and we're not going to be, the old Nampa district where all of a sudden millions of dollars are gone and lost and we can't explain it, right? So I just always think that we have to preface it that way, because these are, again, it's not magic, it's math and really good suggestion. Mm-hmm. So I can't imagine that our eyes wouldn't be wide open and we wouldn't start to make the choices, I guess, that the universe kind of makes for us, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. We are seeing it. Some of the things are unavoidable. I mean, I don't know what to do with power, if that makes sense. I don't know what to do. I mean, some of our software, we can't go without Power School. Right. So what do we do? Okay, which ones are most important? The other issue we have with technology right now is we've gone through it with our cyber incident we did right before in 2019, is like we can't stop spending in that in all the things we need to do there too. So we start spending, and then all of a sudden, then we're at risk. So, so at what point in time, what's not important, and that kind of thing. And so
Yeah.
that's where we're really getting, which worries me, we're getting that size of students that we really got to start making some harder decisions again. But we will know more next year. I think this year we'll be able to kind of make it work. And then we'll know next year, and we'll come to you probably a lot earlier if we see a lot of things happening, or we're hearing a lot of things that some major adjustments might have to happen operationally in our schools and our size of our schools and our teachers. It is what it is, because we do that based on the size, that we are as a district with the number of kids. But everything operational, it makes it quite a bit harder to when we're not getting those fundings that we should.
Yeah, and I think you communicate that clearly. I just wouldn't want anybody to think that we're being blindsided, because I think at the end of the day, you communicate clearly, and you guys are always a few years ahead when it comes to that budget, which is exactly what the community would want from our administrative team. So while it doesn't sound great, we're paying attention.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I couldn't say it better.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay. We'll move on.
All right, we'll go to the quick
Treasure report. Yep.
This one is a little better. I mean, it still's not great, but it's better. All right, current revenue. We got some new numbers as of the 15th. So really, they literally just came out last Friday. We actually gained a unit. Not sure how we did it, but just creating within our IC submissions and that kind of stuff, and different things happened. And that's generally what happens as they clean up throughout the year. Some different discrepancies come out. We go there. That also helped, obviously, and reduced of what we thought we were going to do. So we're not that far from our budget. We're about 4.4. Units, which is actually within our realm, is actually really good. And so I think I'm proud of that. And proud of the IT team from, and our getting into IC and really looking at those numbers. And we have some really good ideas of what to do for next year on some of these things to make sure we're ahead of it, so we don't have some of those risks that we had this year at the beginning of the year. And then one of the cool things too is the transportation funding did come in. I was worried that we only got 5.6. I had budgeted 6. And at the last minute, they actually said, no, you are going to get this money that was allocated this year, which they're pulling next year back to us. So that's the $6 million that we're having there. I'm not worried about next year. I'm going to have the same $6 million budget, but we are doing some stuff on our side to help us with our reimbursement claims as well, that I think is going to help us keep that $6 million just fine. And remember, we spend more than that. This is just what the state pays us.
Right.
Okay. So that's where we're trying to reduce that gap, but it's one of those things that we work on every year, as you guys are aware. And then we did remember how that one time the HR helped with the career ladder work time adjustments. So that super helped too. So when it's all said and done, we're only looking, it sounds terrible, right? We're only looking at a $460,000 miss of revenues. But as you will see on the next one, we can make that up relatively easy. So if you go to the next one. So in expenses, we actually, I already see about 1.25 in salary and benefits. It seems like a lot, right? Oh my God, this is huge. But when you really look at it, it's really about 1.1% of our salaries and benefits. And that's not necessarily because we just missed the boat. A lot of that is truly when somebody, part of our calculation for revenues and that kind of stuff is average teacher pay. So I do an estimate on the expense side based on a teacher that's maybe making $65,000 a year, maybe even 72. They leave, we bring somebody else in at $50,000 on the low end of the career ladder. That difference makes a lot of difference in the general fund budget, and also brings down our average salary and brings down the revenue too. So as you see, we're lower on revenue, but we're also lower on total expense as well. So it's a known thing that happens with our environment. So we're good there. And then there's always positions that either go away or haven't been filled. And so we tell those to stop at a certain time because it just doesn't help us. So we save all that money as well, knowing that we were needing to make up money. The whole goal originally, if we would have made our budget for revenue side, was we were trying to make up our balance of about 2.3 million that we weren't unbalanced. And in a typical year, we can usually make up anywhere from 1 to 1.5, sometimes seen 2 in those kind of savings when we really get down to it. And so now I'm making up 2.3 plus the 460,000, which at first I thought was going to be $303 million. So I am feeling a lot better about our budget. And going into next year, I think we're going to be ready for that as well. We are still in, and remember, this is one of the warmest winters we've ever had. And so our gas bills gave us a little bit of that. But the worry I have going into next year a little bit is that it's also going to slated to be one of the hottest summers and worst summers we've had in a while with no water. So we'll see exactly kind of how that's going to affect us power wise next year, because that kind of it's our air conditioning that really hits us the most on the power side. So it's probably with your same bills as it is now. And we have some additional savings in other areas we see. There's probably more than that, but I also have some unknowns there that our transportation, not that I don't know what it is, I just want to make sure we know where we are and kind of have a mock of what we're supposed to do. And I think we're fine, but sometimes some things will hit. They were like, oh shoot, we need to look at that and kind of do some differences there. So we're there. And then we have our special education contractors that come in. Sometimes those are like our SLPs and some of our sites that we can't hire internally. We contract that out. So the other side of that, a lot of times is Medicaid. So they'll bill Medicaid so we get some money in. So it's always this fluctuation. Where's our Medicaid billing in relationship to some of these contractor payments? So it's always a fun game at the end that kicks in. And so those are things that we can't. They're special education required by law. And those are one of those things that unfortunately, as a finance guy, I can't tell our director there that, no, you can't have a one-on-one because we can't afford it. Those are the things that are things we work through and try to make that happen. So I think that's all I have. All right. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Good.
I think we're good. Well done.
Thank you.
Trustees, next on our information item, we'll have a verbal update on transportation, and then Mr. Stoffer will also share some updates on our facilities.
Chair Jennings, trustees, again, not much to report on transportation as far as anything that has been different from the past. Things are still moving along. Summer school is well in preparation, and for all of our programs that we are being offering this summer. We are in sync with the schedule that we presented earlier with being able to provide all of the routes in July. So we've already started our next year planning. So things are moving really well in our transportation as far as getting into the normal swing of things that we wanted to be in last year. So we're in a good place.
Awesome.
And then facilities is the next item. I just wanted to make you aware that all of our projects, West Learning Center is on track for being completed on time. The central roofing, we're just about ready. We're doing the pre-components to it right now. And we've also started some of the things that we could start at Skyview to get ahead of some of the things that we can. There is some scheduling things that we'll be working on the next few weeks in all of those buildings. And I'll be updating the board as we find out as we get further into the project. So they're all in the pre-planning phases right now, but there are some things that we are doing to try to get ahead to make sure we stay inside the timeframe that we do have. Also, we are continuing about, we should be finished within the next 30 days with the bus facility maintenance. I know that's been a project that's been ongoing for quite a while, but that should be completed and wrapped up here fairly soon for the maintenance side of things. So we're looking forward to having a lot of work being completed this summer. And we're looking forward to the next footprint as we get all those things and be able to unpackage them for everybody.
Just join the rest of the city with all the construction. I love it.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll fit right in.
And I do apologize. There's one other update I needed to make you aware of. The central, the easement that the board approved last board meeting. It is, the city has put a hold on that due to some things out of their control. They will not be doing that project this summer. And because of our schedule, they're going to postpone it for next summer so that they're not having any issues with impacting the school time. So it has been postponed for 1 year.
Okay. And that's just the execution of the project. The easement's already in place.
Everything is in
Everything's
place.
all, okay.
Yep. It's just more the execution. I wanted to update the board on that. That again is the city is doing all that work. It's just to give you notification that we would not be doing that this summer as previously indicated in the last board meeting.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Trustees, next item, E is our monthly enrollment report. It'll be the last one for the school year, and happy to answer any questions if you have anything on that. Not seeing any. It's all right. Moving on to the last item.
Well, sorry,
Hang on.
did we miss the school lunch increase or was that just me? Did I like tune you out?
Chair Jennings, Trustee Taylor, that was something I actually mentioned we were talking about. It was just to forewarn you that because of costs are going
Thank
up,
you.
that we might come back, but I mentioned it earlier as we were talking
Totally
about
needed.
the
Thank
food
you.
nutrition
Sorry, I
services.
can move on. I appreciate you even coming back.
It's a good question, Trustee
Thank
Taylor. It's just after we receive the actual reimbursement costs from the state in July, then we'll have an idea of where we're at with what we're getting back from the state, and then we know what our costs are, and that will help determine whether what we need to do around fees.
Thank you.
Superintendent's report, just very similar to what trustee comments were. It is graduation season. Extremely proud of our students and the numerous graduations we have with them. Also very proud of our staff who have helped get our students there. And then a big shout out to all the mom and dads and guardians for supporting their kids. It takes a village to raise a child, and obviously a huge thank you to the families for supporting their kids and getting them through there. So it's a great time of year and very, very proud of them.
Yeah, they've all been a great turnout.
They
And
have.
the audience is
That's the
packed.
best. Seeing the mom and dads and grandma and grandpas and just all the families.
It's
The best time of year for sure.
It is my favorite time of year in this position. So, trustees, anything we can add to this meeting? And we are efficient. Good. Well, with that, we will adjourn.